Hey everyone, it's Carmen from carmenmastropiero.com, and today I'm going to teach you 10 content marketing benefits that will convince you to start content marketing if you aren't already, and if you are using content marketing, they'll just inspire you to keep going. So to jump right into it, number one is that content improves SEO performance. It's been found that 95% of people only look at the first page of Google, and if you think about yourself, I don't know about you, but with me, I'm usually never going past the first page or even the first few results. Usually you find what you want in the first few. That's because it's Google's job to make sure that the best content comes first for the user, because then you keep using Google itself, and then the advertisers keep coming back. That's kind of how their business model works. And it's exactly why you need to learn how to develop good SEO content, just good on page SEO. You don't have to be doing backlink building if you don't want to. Just understanding the fundamentals of good on page, like producing long form content, getting good keyword research, optimizing your title tags, meta descriptions, etc., will allow you to rank highly, and just good content in general is going to attract more backlinks, which has also been found that the first position on Google has roughly 35,000. So if you aren't already producing content, you're going to be missing out on SEO performance. But if you are publishing content, especially blog posts, you should start to notice more organic traffic and leads coming in. So number two, which kind of builds off of that, is that it makes your business into an authority. So honestly, if you're not publishing content and if you're not putting information out there, customers aren't going to trust you as much. So that's why it's a surefire way to build your brand into a thought leader, no matter what industry you're in. And it doesn't matter how niche of an industry you're in or market. If you're publishing content, it just shows that you know what you're talking about, that you actually care about the customers, and that you're an active business. And one of the businesses that I really look up to is Content Marketing Institute. They're one of the leading authorities in content marketing in general, and they have white papers, live events, magazines. So, number three, and probably one of the best ones, is that it generates leads organically. If you have a B2B business or a service business, you know that getting leads can be probably one of the toughest things. Keeping your pipeline full is really difficult, especially if you don't have the best cold emailing, cold calling system down pat, or the best network. So that's why when you start publishing content and you build that really good SEO momentum, you get so much traffic coming to your website or your YouTube channel, whatever it might be, whatever platform you focus on. And that's going to help get you leads just organically without lifting a finger. I get so many leads for copywriting off of my blog, and it's amazing because I don't have to do tons of cold emailing or anything like that, even though I do like to do some cold emailing to keep my pipeline full. But this also does imply that you need a good lead gen funnel. So something even just as simple as offering a checklist or maybe an ebook to have people subscribe to you, and then you have a drip campaign that eventually upsells your services, something like that. And then number four, which piggybacks off that, is it allows you to build a larger email list. So in case you didn't know, for every $1 you spend on email marketing, you usually make $44. So it has an insane ROI. So if you aren't doing email marketing already, you're definitely missing out on sales and customers. You need to start doing that. And content aligns with it perfectly, because when you're publishing content, you create your own audience versus relying on a social network or some other platform. You actually build your own audience that you can tap into at any given time when you want to publish or promote new content, when you want to promote your services or products. And all you have to do is essentially add some kind of email service or email platform to your blog, start offering a checklist, a free ebook, like a lead magnet essentially. And then you can build this email list, and you have just a subscriber base you can tap into at any given time and just promote your content to. So then number five is that when you're doing content marketing, you can publish content for any stage of the buyer journey. So the first stage is awareness, where essentially the customer is just figuring out maybe they have a certain problem or they need something. And that's where you can start publishing blog posts, free ebooks, tips and guides, things like that. Just kind of top of the funnel, wide content that gets people coming to you. And then you can start offering case studies and samples and webinars, which are a bit more niche down, and if someone's serious about whatever it is you're talking about, they're going to opt in for those. And then the last, which would be the decision stage, is where you start offering consultations and demos. And essentially, it's that very last tipping point where you can convert somebody. And if they're that deep into the funnel, they're probably going to be a lot more serious about getting your product or service. So that's what's nice about content marketing, is you can target every stage and get the exact buyer persona, the exact target audience to your website every time. So number six is that you're creating assets when you publish content. So one thing I've never been a huge fan of when it comes to PPC and media buying and things like that is that you're essentially going to have no results once you stop paying, right? Like once that campaign doesn't perform as well, even if it does for a long time, as soon as you stop paying, you have no traffic and leads. So when you're doing content marketing, it's going to scale almost infinitely over time. And actually, the former product manager at Google, Thomas here, he once said that content is the one of the few forms of marketing that has a compounding return. So you publish that blog post, that video, whatever it is, and it's going to be on the internet forever. And it's going to continue to get you leads and traffic and build your brand and authority. And you can't say that about PPC and a lot of the other advertising methods that are going on. So that's a really big long term benefit of content marketing. And then number seven would be that customers read content before contacting sales reps. So it's been found that 47% of buyers consume roughly 3 to 5 pieces of content before they're contacting a sales rep. And it just makes sense. They obviously want to learn about what they're buying, they want to learn about your company, and they want to be able to trust you. So if your website looks like a ghost town, you have no content on there, it just looks like you're inactive. And they don't even, at that point, they won't even know if they can contact you, if you're going to respond. So content allows you to show that you're an active business, but also it creates the opportunity to educate users on relevant topics. Like, for example, I write a lot about content marketing and copywriting because I offer content writing and copywriting services. So, a lot of businesses don't even realize how important content marketing and having good content on their website is. So, when I'm able to educate them about that, it just ties into my services if they need it. And then number eight, this is more of a consumer behavior trend, but people just see too many ads. Even if you just think about on your phone, Facebook, YouTube, ads are constantly popping up. Like I honestly can't even think of the last time I actually cared or watched an ad or clicked through. And maybe that's just me, but it's a pretty common consumer behavior. People are just sick of ads. Nobody wants to see them anymore. And you also have to realize that nowadays consumers have all the power and all the resources about learning products and services. So if they want to know about your company, they're going to go on social media, they're going to Trustpilot, they're going to look up your testimonials. Like they don't need you throwing ads in their face because they can just figure out everything on their own. So that's why content allows you to just be a bit different compared to your competitors, entertain them, educate them, and bring them to you versus being very invasive with ads. So number nine would be that you can take an omni-channel approach and be on many different platforms when you're doing content marketing. So for example, when I'm writing a blog post, I'll usually go share it on LinkedIn, Medium, Twitter, my email list, make it into a YouTube video like this, maybe an infographic. So it allows you to repurpose content. So you take that original piece of content and you can start everywhere. It can be a video, it can be a blog post, and then you just turn it into other formats. And since 90% of the work is already done, that original piece of content is done, it takes very little effort to repurpose it. And suddenly you're on way more channels, you have way more of a reach, and you're driving way more traffic. And so number 10, the last one, is that social sharing will go through the roof. So a really good sign of how good your content is what kind of traffic you're getting from it and engagement. And people like useful content. And it's been proven that if your content is actually useful and they think other people will find it useful, they'll share it. And that creates a viral effect because they'll share it, their friends share it, and then suddenly you're getting all this extra traffic and attention for no extra cost just because you made a really good piece of content. So what I like to think about is making content really practical, so tools, instructions, adding data, graph, and other resources, and ultimately just making sure that when they read that piece of content or whatever it might be, they can leave knowing exactly what to do afterwards. But that just sums up today's video. Just want to do a quick one on content marketing benefits. So you can learn more about content marketing on my website there. I'll throw a link in the description. If you need content writing services, feel free to reach out. Really appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share it, and I'll see you in the next video.